up, castaways? Welcome to the Caribbean Castaways podcast. We are Caribbean travel bloggers, and our job is to give you guys the best information that helps you have an amazing Caribbean vacation. My name is Ryan, aka Rum Shop Ryan, and on my right is the one and only Castaway Crystal.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us today. We are seeing a lot of great reviews and direct messages on Instagram. Thank you so much, and please keep them coming. That's what keeps us going, wanting to keep producing more content for you guys. So thank you so much for just really absorbing it, enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It would mean the world to us. This is episode 8, and we are going to be talking about our top 5 things to do on Little Cayman above the waves.
That's right, episode 8.
Woo-hoo.
Here we go. All right, this episode is all about Little Cayman, and let's dive in. So if you don't know much about the Cayman Islands, we're going to catch you up really fast here. The Cayman Islands are made up of 3 islands: Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. Little Cayman is by far the least populated island of the 3, with only 270 people.
And the population of iguanas that live on island is over 2,000.
So tons of iguanas, not very many people. It was a paradise.
Sounds like paradise to me.
It was a paradise for Crystal. So Crystal really loves animals and wildlife. And if you didn't know, she also has a separate Instagram channel. I'm going to kind of give you a little shout out here.
Shout out.
It is called Crystal's Critters on Instagram. So definitely go follow her if you are into the wildlife and animals and critters like her.
Nature photography.
Yeah.
That's pretty much one of my biggest passions.
I love it. It's a great account. I love animals as well, but a place that has more lizards than people was definitely right up her alley.
Right? Totally.
All right, so Little Cayman is approximately 60 miles northeast of Grand Cayman, and it's about 5 miles from Cayman Brac. So Little Cayman and Cayman Brac are kind of next to each other, about 60 miles away from Grand Cayman. Little Cayman is about 10 miles long with an average width of about 1 mile. And Little Cayman is most well known as a diving hotspot. So that's why most people go to Little Cayman. It is one of the best dive locations in all of the Caribbean, and it has been made famous by a couple dive sites there called the Bloody Bay Wall and Jackson's Bight dive locations.
Right.
And that's why people go there. Like the Bloody Bay Wall is like one of the best spots in all the Caribbean. And while we are not dive certified, we were able to do a couple dives with the team at Pirates Point as part of a discovery program.
Yeah, that was super fun. I'm glad we got to experience that for sure.
Yeah, it was so cool. One of the best ways to get to Little Cayman is to fly. That's what we did. And people fly to Grand Cayman first and then jump on Cayman Airways, so a little puddle jumper. 2 propellers, maybe 10 seats on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
You're packed in there pretty tight.
Tiny. Like people get afraid by these tiny little propeller planes, but I absolutely love traveling like that.
Yeah. If you're on a small plane like that, you know you're going to a pretty cool spot.
Mm-hmm.
The airport. What did you think about
the
that
airport?
airport?
Absolutely adore island airports like this, that it's just one little building. The fire department is connected to it. There's one terminal with a wooden sign that says Terminal 1.
There is no Terminal 2, so you should just say Terminal.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then the way the planes come in, there's the runway that's just across the main road so that it lands, and then the plane has to actually cross the road where cars go on, cross the street, and then park where the quote-unquote terminal is, and then that's how you load, get on, and get off the plane.
Yeah.
It's I think it's one of the coolest airports I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, the terminal was maybe about the size of our living room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool, but so much character, and that's why we really love those small islands.
Right. So we had the pleasure of visiting Little Cayman back in 2018, and funny enough, exactly 2 years ago today of this recording, February 23rd, was when we landed in Little Cayman.
It popped up in your
my
memories.
Facebook memories. They're like, oh, Crystal and Ryan, you went to Little Cayman.
She told me that this morning, and she's like, you won't believe what just popped up in my memories.
It's like 2 years ago today we were there. So it must have been in our subconscious to do this podcast. So we went there via invitation from Pirates Point Resort, which is an all-inclusive resort that caters to divers.
Thank you, Pirates Point.
Thank you, guys. But non-divers can feel right at home as well in one of their 11 cottage-style rooms.
Yeah, it was a very cool resort, very off the grid.
Off the grid, very rustic. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they're on a timing schedule. So you got to wake up whenever breakfast is ready if you want breakfast, because everything is kind of geared towards the schedule of the divers. But again, it's one of those places that have a honor bar where you just go behind the bar, pour your drinks, and you tally up what you had for that day or for that week. And then at night at sunset, they have a great spot for sunsets. Mm-hmm. You can do, what did you do? You snorkeled and caught a lobster there, didn't you?
Yeah, so we did a night snorkel with one of the dive instructors, and he's like, you guys want to go get some lobster? I'm like, yes. And so it was at night. We saw 4 lobster. We caught 2. We lost another one because a nurse shark got spooked and stirred up all the sand. That was a little scary at night, seeing a nurse shark. I know they're not dangerous, but like it was just under a rock, came out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God.
Like, ah!
Saw an octopus. So that was super cool. Like there's just so much nature there at Little Cayman, but they're at Pirates Point Resort. So I think some of the food is fantastic. So Crystal took some amazing pictures of the food and stuff, but a lot of people go to Pirates Point because of the diving and because of the restaurant. But it is a kind of a family style dining experience. You'll sit with like a
strangers,
table 6 to 8.
Yeah, you'll sit with strangers, everybody else who's sitting there, or visitors. You can make reservations if you're not staying there and have dinner there as well. So it's just kind of a get to know each other kind of place.
Yeah, and so, we didn't know that going in, so we were kind of thrown into it. But that very first day, we sat with some people, and they obviously dove that day. And we said, we're not divers. We might plan to do the discovery session. But they're like, why would you even come to Little Cayman if you're not divers? And
right. We were kind of thrown off by that. I'm like, that's a little uppity, a little cliquish in some ways. And not everybody was like that. But like, that's why it, kind of told us that we need to tell you guys there is so much you can still do and enjoy on Little Cayman.
Above the waves
if you're not a diver. So we're going to dive into that. And Ryan, you can start off. What are our top 5 things that we love to do above the waves on Little Cayman?
That was an amazing segue, Crystal.
You're welcome.
All right. So number 1 on our list of top 5 things to do above the waves on Little Cayman is like soak up that off the grid vibe. So just know you're going to an island that is a true escape from all the hustle and bustle of a more tourism heavy type destination. I mean, we rode bikes into town. We hit a couple little beach bars there, like, true castaway style. You just park your bike right there on the sand or on the beach. A couple of places we hit as we were doing our bike rides were the Hungry Iguana. That was really cool. Beach Nuts was probably the coolest little beach bar there. That's located at the Little Cayman Beach Resort.
Yeah, that was a fun spot. There was iguanas just hanging out at the bar.
Iguanas.
Yeah, they were pretty big, and they were just hanging out at the bar with you. I think we did leave a sticker there.
Yep. So if you guys go to Little Cayman, find our sticker.
Take a picture. Send it.
Yep. Definitely send us a picture. And if you guys do, we'll send you a free koozie. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be totally fun. We'll
okay.
do that for you. We'll make it happen.
But Beach Nuts is super cool. There's like wooden signs everywhere of like boat names and locations and stuff like that. And then we also hit up on our bikes the Southern Cross Club. And that was a really cool place. I mean, like
it's a beautiful
palm trees,
property.
The colors of the property, the buildings and cottages was super, super cool. So just really soak up that vibe. Know there's only 270 people there, and put your phone down and just, be like unplug. This is the authentic Caribbean experience. And that's one of our top reasons why you would want to go to Little Cayman.
Right. Number 2 is kayak out to Owen Island. We rented kayaks at Southern Cross Resort. Mm-hmm. It's not super cheap to do it, but totally worth it.
It is. The kayaks were rented by the hour. We got one kayak. I believe it was like $50 for 2 hours. So a little pricey for kayak rentals, but it was worth it.
Right. When on island, when in Rome, just do it.
Yeah, totally.
We do have a video of Owen Island. We'll put in the link in the show notes so you can see what it's really like. Keep in mind, Owen Island is a privately owned island, so respect their land that they allow public to explore it. But the cool thing about this island is just there's nothing on it. There's no buildings. There's no infrastructure. It's a
completely deserted
island with
we were
mangroves.
The only ones there.
Yeah. We had the only ones there that day, and it was a nice little kayak trip. The wind was a little rough that day, but then we just kind of relaxed, explored, and then on our way back, the wind kind of pushed us back to the Southern Cross Club Resort. So that was nice.
Yeah, I don't think the wind bothered Crystal too much because I was the one paddling and she's always taking pictures.
I have to take pictures. I have to document. I'm still working.
I'm sitting in the back of the kayak, just struggling. I'm like, Crystal, will you help? She's like, no, I
he's
take
got
pictures.
This. So you have the guns. He has the big guns.
Oh, so fun. But no, she does help out. But it was definitely go check out Owen Island. And that's located right there in Blossom Village where the Southern Cross is. So that's the main kind of village there. And it's on the south end of the island. And Owen Island is in this sound protected by the reef. And man, the water just glowed blue. So definitely kayak out to Owen Island.
Yes, definitely has to be something you have to do there. Number 3, bird watching at Little Cayman's Booby Pond Nature Reserve.
More critter stuff.
More critters. As I said before, I have a nature wildlife Instagram page, and I wish I have a 600 millimeter lens now, and I wish to God I had it back then, but it just gives me a reason to go back and take pictures of these birds.
Right.
This reserve supports the largest red-footed booby population in the Caribbean.
Really cool bird.
And it's interesting, though, when we were at this reserve, we saw these frigatebirds hanging out with the baby booby birds in the trees, and we thought that was really odd. And at first, Ryan was like, are those baby frigates? I'm like, no, they look kind of different.
Yeah.
So it turns out frigates are kind of jerks of the wild. They're little thieves. So it turns out frigate birds can't catch their own fish. So they kind of hang out next to the baby booby birds. So when the adult boobies come back to feed their young, the frigate birds scare the adult boobies just so they can make them throw up their food. And then the frigates will steal it and then run.
Yeah, so the boobies are coming back from fishing out in the ocean, and the frigates see that. And they fly up to meet them and harass them and scare them. And this all happens midair. And then the boobies get nervous, and then the frigates catch the vomited up fish.
Yeah.
And they catch it right in the air.
It's insane. We actually witnessed it on the way, like getting ready on our way home from Little Cayman. We were sitting at the airport, and we heard some bird commotion happening near the landing pad. And it was a frigate just terrifying this poor booby bird, and he lost his meal, and the frigate had a good day.
Yeah, we were totally on the side of the booby birds.
Yeah, those poor guys.
But it was neat to see, and it's just another reason why you go to Little Cayman is to see this wildlife
happen,
drama unfold. Yeah,
yeah.
It was totally cool. Number 4 on our list of things to do on Little Cayman is go visit Point of Sand.
Gorgeous beach.
Yeah, super cool beach on the eastern side of the island. You'll probably be the only one there. There's a little pier, amazing water, again, protected by the reef. You can actually see Cayman Brock, but the sand has a little hint of pink to it. It's just a really, really cool beach. Probably the best beach there on Little Cayman. You probably need to rent a car to get out there. You could totally ride your bike. All the resorts have bikes that you can just use, but we did rent a car because we wanted to explore the entire island, and we didn't want to ride our bikes 10
That'd
miles
be exhausting.
in the heat. Yeah, it would be pretty hot, and we wanted to, we rented that car. We always rent a car everywhere we go. And so Point of Sand was cool, and then we kind of went over onto the north side of the island and you make a big circle, and on the north side, we stumbled upon, just blindly, a little beach bar.
We did. We can't find pictures of it anywhere. I believe it's called Sunshine or Sunset something bar.
There's no website. I can't even find it on Google Maps.
Yeah, and it was behind a house or a duplex. And I guess apparently the bartender told us it was a big stop back in the day before one of the hurricanes destroyed their dock.
It's because it's located right next to the Bloody Bay Wall.
Yeah. So it was right there. So the divers would come in after their dives and have some drinks and stuff like that. And then so that was kind of sad to hear the history of it. And we were the only two there that day, but it was a great spot. It was a great find. I really wish we could figure out the actual name of that place.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to do our research and find this for you guys, but that's again part of the charm. The little place, this little beach bar is so off the grid. No websites. It's not on Google Maps. And we saw the sign on the road, and we drove by it, and I was like, no.
We're like, back up. We got to check this place out.
We got to check this little place out, and we did. We had a couple white tip loggers, I think.
Yeah.
And we took some pictures, and
it was a great stop. Yeah. And that's why we just always love renting a car, because you just never know what you're going to stumble upon each day.
Yep. So very, very cool spot. And we kind of led into this. So definitely grab a bike. Because it's such a small island and there's like no car traffic, going around Blossom Village and the island by bike is a very good choice. We did that, and Crystal, who is the world's worst bike rider person, like, how is that possible? Like, 3-year-olds can ride bikes.
I'm just not confident. I can ride a bike. I'm just not
Yeah.
confident when there's like cars and pedestrians and so many obstacles to get around. It makes me nervous. So a place with only 200 people and only one car drives by every hour, like, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, so
you're gonna be all right.
Like, Crystal was weaving back and forth on the one road, and she was taking videos. Like, look at me.
I was even taking videos. I can multitask
ride a bike and take videos. I was like, you better just keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the steering wheel. But no, she's a great. She loves that off the grid vibe, because you can do things like that and rent a bike. Like, I probably wouldn't do that on Aruba or any other like busy island.
No.
So definitely, grab a bike and go explore.
There's some trails that we found while we were biking. Right. We hiked up this one trail that had a little lighthouse. And then again, because there's so many iguanas there, just make a fun day out of it, counting how many iguanas you can find throughout the day.
That's right.
A lot of them hang out near the museum. We found a bunch of them behind the property of their Little Cayman Museum.
That was cool. Yeah. And they're big iguanas. So it's really cool. And they'll often like lounge on the road during the day to warm up, and then they'll go back in the bush. So some parts of the day you'll see a lot of iguanas, sometimes you won't see any, but definitely go try to find them in the trails. Like, you'll hear them before you'll see them, because they'll be
rustling in the bushes.
And then like, oh my God, there's a huge iguana.
Yeah, they're awesome. All right, that's it for episode 8 today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listening to us, guys. We would love to see how you are listening, and we would love to give you a shout out as well. Take a screenshot of the podcast and send us a direct message on Instagram. We will send you a personal thank you and give you a shout out on our Instagram stories.
That's right. And if you guys are following our stories, you'll see those shout outs. So definitely do that. We would love to. Thank you guys. So thank you so much.